And when they do, God uses the nations around them to oppress them, basically to kind of like beat them down. And then Israel gets to a point where they're so beat down, they're so oppressed that they have no one left to turn to except God, and so they cry out to God, and God
So
hears their cry.
let me interrupt. This is a
Yeah.
very common theme, maybe.
Yes. Yes.
If your life around you is crumbling and things aren't going in the right direction, this is oftentimes how people come to the Lord. And what you're saying is, in this case, he's doing it intentionally.
Yeah.
And so, does that mean that Christ may be doing that in a person's life?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I absolutely believe that God is not, he's not above, like we think of God and we say, well, a good God wouldn't allow these things to happen,
Right,
right?
right.
That's a common thing we hear people say, and usually it's a it's a self, um when you look at yourself, you don't want bad things to happen to you,
Right.
and I don't want bad things to happen to you either, right? Like
Hmm.
I if I could, I would keep bad things from happening to you.
Right.
If I could keep that car on the track at that moment, I would want to do that to prevent you from having those
Well,
injuries.
I
And
was rammed into the wall
right, so I
by
would, but I
somebody else. I won't say who.
well, the
Uh,
person knows who they are.
they sure do.
Um,
Okay.
so, if I could, but then if I did stop that, if I did
Right.
prevent that injury, that wreck from happening,
Yeah.
does Greg Nanesian come to know Christ?
Yeah.
So, which is more important for you to win that race,
Yeah.
or for you to do well in that race, even, or for you to know
Yeah.
Christ? So, if it's like a parent, right?
Yeah.
As a parent, I look at my children, and I don't always keep them from harm necessarily. For example, I let them ride their bikes, and they frequently fall off their bikes and skin their knees.
Right.
And if I didn't let them ride their bikes, they wouldn't fall off their bikes and they wouldn't skin their knees. And so, but
Mm.
then they also wouldn't learn how to ride a bike well, how hard to turn,
Right.
how, that's part of them learning to be proficient.